All right, so good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Debate Club. So, this is a platform where we engage in healthy debates and discussions every week. And the topic for this week is extraterrestrial expansion is necessary for human species to survive. Agree or disagree? So, basically, the pro stance is that we need an extra territory just in case something happens to our planet or in absence of such things even because the earth has a finite number of resources, right, which are already being depleted. So extraterrestrial expansion in this context could be, like a whole new horizon that opens up a lot of, you know resources which were previously even unavailable. Let's say we discover a planet for such expansion and we discover resources that are not even available on the earth, right? So you never know because it's still an untapped territory. And then there's the question of overpopulation on earth. So in case such expansion is to happen, we'll have mm, uh, you know we could alleviate such problems, right? We have more living space basically. And then let's say in case of nuclear wars or asteroid impacts, and our primary planet, which is the earth, is to get destroyed, or something happens that makes its environment very hazardous to live for humans, such expansion could provide us with an alternate planet or alternate spatial territory where we could all survive. So this kind of aids the survival of human species. And then aiming for such expansion could also lead to technological advancement which we may currently not have, because space colonization is something that requires a lot of advanced technology which we may not have at the moment, but the pursuit of such colonization could lead to development of such technology, right? And then there is the constance where people are questioning the ethics of such expansion, where, for example, we could cause potential environmental damage to other planets. We see so much damage due to our previous decisions, if you will, happening on the earth. There is so much climate change, there is pollution. So there is the question of ethics on how we are going to impact the spatial environment if we are going to undertake such expansion. And then there is the question of cost, like how much financial investment is needed, and do we even have such aid? And there is also the thing where we might take off our focus from the earth, which is already facing a lot of problems which might be very hazardous to the human species in the upcoming future. So it is better that we focus on the problems that we are having on earth instead of just going for an extraterrestrial expansion. And then there is also uncertainty. This is an untapped territory and we don't know what potential risks that might arise if we are to undertake such expansion. So in such cases it becomes very important to not recklessly or impulsively undertake such expansions. So with that context in place, I will now open the floor up for debate, and people who wish to speak will have to use the reaction button to raise their hands. I see Sandeep, please go ahead.
Yeah, can I share my screen?
Sure, Sandeep.
Okay. So you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
So before getting to any pro stance or con stance, I would like to set a stage on a cosmic scale, and give a context. Why is it why is it even a topic of concern? So there is a beautifully compared way of looking at it. So I just pulled up a random article from the Oxford University, published by the Museum of Natural History. So they compare like the 4.5 billion years. So Earth formed about 4.5 billion years ago, and if we compare it to like for 1 year, right? So if it is the equivalent terms of 1 year, so we'll be able to compare it to the, let's say, if the life of Earth is itself is 1 year on a scale, and what would be the life of human species themselves, right? So if we consider the Earth has been formed on January 1st, and if I have to scroll down, so it took about, after in the 11th month only, the life itself has started forming on the planet Earth. So you can understand almost 80 to 90% of the life, sorry, the time that Earth existed, there is no life form, right? And if we just call down to this point where human beings appeared, on 31st December, 25 minutes before to midnight. So you can understand the scale of the cosmic, on a cosmic level, and how small our human existence itself when it comes to how long the cosmos, the universe itself exists, right? And also our very human civilization, if we have to put it in a way that the human life itself is less than half a second. Let's hypothetically consider 100 years of human life, which is about under 1 second. So if the life of Earth is 1 year, and 100 years is like less than 1 second. So that brings into a inspiring question that our consciousness is limited to this very little window, right? And if you ask me, is it survival of this consciousness of human beings, is it necessary to expand uh, into extraterrestrial, like do human species needs to expand their footprint beyond Earth? On a cosmic scale, I would say yes. But if the same question arises, is it necessary to expand human species to extraterrestrial way? Then on a human scale, it might seem insignificant, right? We have a lot of issues on our planet itself. But we're also very conscious beings, and we have to look at a place where, to a very long to a very long extent into the future, like 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, even billions of years into the future, what will happen, right? So if we limit ourselves to Earth, it also comes to a point where human ego itself plays a role, right? So we are so egotistic that we are not able to let go of our own species. That's a different debate itself. But at least when it comes to the cosmic scale, yes, I would uh, agree that we humans have to expand to other planets and all. And of course, from the fact sheet, I don't really agree to the fact that within the protons itself, the resource depletion, overpopulation, and these are all not actually the very compelling arguments for a pro stance. But I strongly agree to the point of human curiosity and ambition. That is the only pro stance that I have when it comes to expanding human species to uh, other planets or other galaxies, or even venturing into anywhere that we are capable of. And if you talk about technology, yes, obviously technology. See, in 1970s, no, NASA sent human beings to moon, and that was the biggest rocket that built. And since then, the technology has been existed 50 years, but it took like 50 years for the human. Even if you talk about SpaceX and Elon Musk, it's all about taking initiative and put our energies to develop technology, right? Technology just doesn't come up from out of thin air, and it takes a lot of very uh, persistent entrepreneurs and engineers to build it. So it's a process of hundreds and thousands of years of a journey. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Sandeep. Anyone else would like to go ahead?
1 second, I'll just try to stop my screen recording.
Yeah. Thank you, Sandeep. Prince, please.
Yeah, first of all, am I audible?
Yes, Prince.
Yeah, thanks. So, great points made by Sandeep, and he rightly pointed out that the human existence is like a very small portion of the existence of the whole of existence of the Earth. If I'm not wrong, then Earth was formed around 3 to 4 billion years ago, or maybe five. So, if we look at it through that lens, then of course the expansion into extraterrestrial spaces sound sound a bit human centric. That we think a lot of our species and what it can do, but at the same time, we are also let aside the extraterrestrial bodies, we are not even fully aware of the deep oceans that we possess. I mean, the deepest we have gone is deep ocean drilling project, and integrated deep ocean drilling project some years back. So, a lot of problems that's mentioned in the fact sheet, I assume, could be solved by, studying more about the interiors of the Earth, and the deep oceans, and the secrets that are hidden beneath the surface. Because, I mean, the main reason for expansion is like uh, the inability of this earth to maybe sustain a larger population of humans, and the climate change that we are facing. And I think all of this, most of this, could be solved through the life that's found beneath the sea. Because I mean, we can't solve the issue of climate change from the land, but we can solve it from the sea. We can have algae plants and stuff like that. So, yeah. But on the contrary, I do kind of agree with the stance that's posed for the extraterrestrial expansion. Because, sorry, against the for the terrestrial expansion. Because, uh, I mean, we as humans have always been ambitious, and to the best of our knowledge, we are the only species that is fully aware and can use our intellect for both technological as well as evolutionary uh, proceedings. So I guess, what's wrong in trying something even more ambitious? Maybe we can find different kind of lives. Maybe the human world, the earth, could be more inclusive with the inclusion of different species, and there could be a to and fro, a transfer of technology, which could, if goes well, which could help us a lot to take a greater leap into, if they are ahead from us in technological advancement, then it could give us a huge leap uh, into this whole technological race that we are continuously running in. So, yeah, and let's say if we are able to find life, even though I don't think we can find it in Mars. If anything, then we should go for Venus. But if we are able to find life anywhere close to where Earth is, then uh, there could be a lot of diversification. We could make sure to, give our people more resources, make sure that the economies thrive, there is less unemployment, the inflation could reduce. We as human species could get access to a lot of resources that we usually do not have because of the limited nature of nature of our earth. And let's say, even if we don't find life there, we can still kind of extract resources from those planets while taking care of the environment that those beautiful planets have. And it could it could open up a gate of whole new opportunities, which I mean, which is hard to imagine, but the economical impacts could be way greater than anyone has ever imagined. Yeah.
Thank you, Prince. Anybody else would like to go next?
Hello. Hi, I'm Manish.
Hey, Manish.
Yeah.
Would you like to speak?
Yeah. So thanks
Or
for bringing all these points, Rose, Prince, and Sandeep. I think you guys brought very important points. But the question is not whether we should or humanity should look for terrestrial or extraterrestrial expansion. The right question is how and then when, I mean, that humanity should look for extraterrestrial expansion, because we all know, I mean, there are limited or finite resources that Rose, you already talked about. Catastrophic risk also, we all understand. Earth is also not an exception because it has already gone through asteroid hits and all in past. So that's again, it's a big risk, and it might come. Sure, I mean, in future. So we all understand this. We all know the benefits of that extraterrestrial expansion, because it definitely brings a technological advancement in many areas, especially space technology and related areas. So that's definitely another benefit if we look for this expansion. Uh, but the most important thing is long-term vision, because we all know that Earth, it's just like a lifeboat, and it's again sinking due to XYZ reason, which you or we all know very well. So it's basically we have to look at from both intrinsic and then extrinsic side. Like we have to while we have to patch this boat, and then we have to also look for a new lifeboat. And that's again, we have to have long-term vision for that. So that's very important. And then again, like extraterrestrial expansion should be looked at like insurance for future, because we all know that sooner or later that even sun is going to be red planet or a red giant. So maybe a few millions years in future, but we have to be, I mean, these are all facts. So it has to be looked at how this extraterrestrial expansion can be accomplished by considering other factors like a few wealthy nations and all, they will have monopoly. So we have to have some framework on that. But yeah, that's from my side.
Right. Thank you so much, Manish. I personally really liked your perspective on it, where you said that extraterrestrial expansion should be looked at as a form of insurance, right? That definitely makes a lot of practical sense to me. And of course, if such expansion has to happen, there will undoubtedly be a lot of geopolitical conflict, right? Such conflict is just inevitable in case of such expansions. I wonder what you guys think about that. So if anybody wants to speak next, you'll have to use the reaction button to raise your hands. Yes, please.
Yeah, so I think all these issues that political issues and population issues, all these things, I think let's take a hypothetical scenario which we were able to colonize Mars, and magically we were able to transform Mars like just like Earth. I'm just giving a hypothetical scenario. So the very nature of human beings, of political tensions and conflict, probably will get carried to Mars as well, right? So I don't think uh, you know the, the issues that we have on Earth space exploration is not a solution for anything. I think space exploration is not about solving the issues on that we have that we are facing right now, like how you say, or population, resource, you know, depleting of natural resources. Because I think the worst day on planet Earth will be 10 or 100 times better than your best day on Mars, practically speaking. So I think this is a little step that we are taking into the unknown future of unknown future that our generations that will come after us will have to take up that the path that we started right now. Because if you know about if you know planetary science, right now, see, the habitable zone keeps shifting in billions of years because of the size of the sun. When the sun was smaller, Mercury and Venus were actually habitable for carbon-based life form. Because of the current size of Earth, current size of sun, right now Earth and Mars are actually habitable zones, and there are actually signs that Mars used to have rivers on it. We are not really sure what happened to those rivers and oceans. And some in some billion years, I don't have the exact number, some billions, after some billions of years, when sun expands, the habitable zones actually expand to Saturn and Jupiter. So that is how the cosmic scale works in terms of habitable zones. So that said, this is not a easy or simple thing to say, okay. I think the main challenge itself is not about whether we should do it or not. I think, are we even capable of doing it the way it has, at the rate at which it needs to be done? Because we are actually, SpaceX themselves are pushing the limits of physics when they are trying to launch rockets. If I think if the Earth's gravity is about 5 to 10%, I'm not exactly sure the numbers again. If it is more than 5 to 10% more than what we have right now, our current technology won't be able to launch rockets and land them. So that is how minute the details are when it comes to space exploration. Every single detail matters. And obviously, there is another factor that human beings are a part of Earth, and how it's not, we are inseparable, right? Human beings are part of Earth, and no matter what we might think that we might go into to the rest of the universe and thrive, there are a lot of psychological, biological, and spiritual aspects that are being overlooked. No matter as much as space and technology enthusiast I am, I understand that is a very exciting space to explore, and I myself am very curious and inspired when I see rocket launches and landing. Did I have 5 minutes? I'm not sure. Okay, I'll
Yeah.
just
It's okay. You can go ahead for like 30 more seconds if you want.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say there are a lot of other aspects as well that we are not able to consider, like spiritual aspects, and how physically and mentally we are connected to Earth itself. So are we even able to replicate it in, let's say, if we go to Mars, how will it even change your brain chemistry or biological chemistry, and how the future life forms will be able to cope up with it? There are multiple challenges even if we decide to do that. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Sandeep. Anyone else would like to speak? Yes, please, Prince.
Yeah, first of all, great points by everyone, and I'll just add on to what uh, Sandeep and I guess Manish said. Uh, Manish rightly pointed out about the equitable distribution of income or the riches that we might get from the extraterrestrial world. Now, I do agree that. there's a lot of inequality in the whole of world, and the distribution of income is really not up to the mark that it should have been. But I guess a more it could the extraterrestrial thing could actually bring much more equality to the life of humans on the earth as well, because rather than on a state basis, or on the basis of the riches that a state hold, we can distribute the income based on the population, and we can make sure that the whole riches actually gets trickled down to the general public and the general population. I mean, it could almost make sure that we reach at a stage where, you know, almost the whole of inequality is trashed, and we could finally be equals on Earth. And Sandeep said that the best time on the moon could easily be beaten by the worst day on Earth. I mean, yeah, it is true, but why are we thinking of totally, abolishing the life at Earth? So we can kind of, let's say, use the resources to increase the quantity and quality of resources and factors of production to kind of make sure that the life on Earth becomes more sustainable. We can, if it's possible, I was hearing of some of these theories. That's why I'm talking about these. If it's possible, then maybe we can shift our electricity production to the extraterrestrial bodies, and almost a greater aspect of pollution could be dealt with in that way. We can make sure to have a sustainable way of development by not harming the nature of the earth, and it could actually serve us really well. And based on whether we are equipped or not, I mean, these kind of things can never be predicted, but I guess China and Russia are trying to build a moon base in this century itself. uh, Even though not formally, but informally, the Indian scientists are also talking about maybe building a lunar base by 2047. I mean, even if we go by the Indian standard time, we can make it by, let's say, 2057 or 2067. So I guess there are lots of prospects of the whole extraterrestrial mission. I personally don't think that uh, there's a lot of opportunity of finding life as of now in these extraterrestrial bodies, but maybe we can sort of come up with something. Maybe we can use, or exploit is not really a great word, but exploit it intelligently, so that the whole of ecosystem of that planet is also not harmed, and we can have much better lives at Earth with maybe cleaner airs, less pollution, less density of population, and maybe things might work out at that. Yeah, Ruth.
Thank you so much, Prince. Next up will be Saju.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Yeah, I think I'll just repeat the topic. The topic is whether extraterrestrial expansion is necessary for survival of human life. Uh, and if you keep the context as to the expansion of sun, then you're right. Yes, it is necessary, but it will be like probably a million years wherein we would have developed the technology to go outside to many planets anyway. Just like all technologies takes time, that technology will also take time to develop. So I think we can keep that point aside. But really, the question here is inadvertent. I mean, the other side of the coin is whether human beings are not able to survive on planet Earth. So if that's the question, then it's a falsehood. of course, human beings can survive. All the major problems for that human beings are facing on planet Earth is available. Solutions are available on planet Earth. So I think if you are talking about the first point, then I'm really not interested. Yeah, if it is second point, then we can debate. Yeah.
Is that all you had to say, Saju?
Yep. Yeah.
Sure, thank you. Sandeep, please go.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch up on a point I think Prince made. I didn't actually hear it. Prince, can you repeat that point again? It's okay if you can unmute it.
Was it regarding whether we can go to
No,
extraterrestrial bodies or
it's about I said something about the worst day on Earth is 100 times better than the best day on Mars. You said
yeah? So
something
basically,
I didn't get it.
yeah, I'll just say the crux of it. Basically, what I meant was, uh, we can also do it this way. It's just a different perspective that maybe we can use the resources on Mars to have even better days on Earth.
Okay. So when I said that, what I meant to say is, even let's say if we do expand to Mars, the conditions are very harsh, and I lean towards not going to Mars in that very instance. But I'm not like saying we should not go to Mars. What I'm trying to say is, let's say even in our own lifetimes for next 100 to 100 years, even if we are able to set up base on Mars, and hypothetically we would have destroyed Earth, and even that worst time of Earth would be much more habitable for human beings than the the habitable zones that we would have created on Mars. That's what I was trying to say.
Any comments on that, Prince?
Yeah. So I personally do kind of agree. If we are talking holistically, then of course, because we are going to a new planet, we'll have to invest a lot of money. We'll not get returns for a lot of time, and it will involve a lot of uh, hardships and a lot of financial investments to make sure that
Yeah.
we set. It's like a volcano. When a volcano erupts, there's a lot of short-term consequences, and but in the long term, it leads to greater profits because those ash make the grounds fertile.
Yeah. But also, I just wanted to add another point that when it comes to, of course, there are some companies that are going out to space mining kind of thing. But it is almost exceeding to the limits of physics, like the amount of energy, it's like return on investment, right? How much of energy you spend and how much of energy you get. So we are pushing the limits of physics when it comes to space mining, because space mining is, I think, about getting resources for the civilizations that we will be building there. But as far as the science is concerned, the basic physics, it doesn't make financial or even ROI sense that bringing some other resources from other planets back to Earth is very, very inefficient actually.
If I
Yeah.
may.
Yeah, sure.
So I totally agree with your viewpoint that yes, definitely it does not make sense. But I mean, it's the same thing with solar panels. Earlier, to produce 1 unit of electricity through solar panels, it costed us around 11 to 12 rupees. But with the expansion of solar panels and using it more and more, now it costs about 1.4 to 3 rupees, depending upon the organization that's making it. And slowly with time, we are seeing that it has become cheaper than the fossil fuel alternatives. So yeah, that's what I'm counting upon. That with time, the cost of it will reduce.
Yeah, I understand your analogy, but when it comes to solar panels, it was technological and the fa- you know the ma- you know how producing solar panels in a mass production way that makes sense to financial ROI. But physics does agree there. No, we know that down the line for next 20 to 30 years, the physics does make sense, and we will be able to do that. Yeah, I mean, maybe at some point we'll be able to do it. But as far as my knowledge is concerned, I think space mining is the intention of space mining from all space exploration companies is to develop technologies that the resources can be mined when if we do expand other civilizations. That is the actual intention of space mining. That's what I'm trying to anyway.
Yeah,
Thank you.
maybe I'd like to add one more point, which is again collaboration, because this is the area where the world has seen the real collaboration, what it means. Because if you look at the ISS, which is International Space Station, 15 countries, which those are, you can again see China and US and Japan kind of country. They are actual well-known rivals, but they are all together in that kind of ISS mission. World has first time seen this black hole in 2022. So that Canadian and European and NASA all, it was a huge joint effort. If you look at the treaty signed long back in 70s, that was some space exploration treaty was signed within 100 such countries. So that's again, this is one of the area which brings all different countries together, and I think it's one of the area definitely is going to be looked into in future very closely by all such growing countries. Thanks.
Thank you, Manish. If anybody else wants to speak next, use the reaction button to raise your hand. Yes, please, Prince.
Yeah, I do totally understand that, this could actually bring humanity closer, and for the greater good of humanity, we could come together and, try to achieve this feat of extraterrestrial expansion. But yeah, I mean, it could also come with challenges, definitely. But yeah, I do agree with whatever Manish said. And to Sandeep's last point, yeah, I do understand, and I agree as well that, you know uh, it would be an engineering feat if we actually do achieve that. But uh, I guess I'm just relying on the things that I've seen. Many of the things which are not possible just 20 to 25 years ago are now, we are using those technologies like it's nothing. It has become a day-to-day part of our lives. So yeah, I guess that's what uh, that's what I'm counting upon. And onto the facet of whether it is possible or not, I guess people have already almost claimed it that it's possible. It's so nice to actually see that people do actually, in fact, believe the human intellect to achieve these kind of almost untenable feats. And uh, I do actually believe that it's doable because the way space through SpaceX, Elon Musk has made sure that we go and have reusable rockets, which will and which have reduced the cost of space exploration and space travel to a greater extent. And that has also acted as a motivation and for innovation of similar kind of technologies. If I'm not wrong, it was ISRO chief who said that he was very inspired by this feat of SpaceX, and he was also trying to make the same technology kind of available in India, with us using these reusable resources that are made and developed in India. So yeah, I guess these smaller feats could actually add up for all for tackling all these challenges like economic costs and uh, the the geomorphological challenges that we actually face in the uh, whole of universe for the expansion of human species. Yeah, Rose.
Thank you, Prince. I mean, I'm not sure. I think most of you guys might know about this, but when the process of space militarization was kind of new, I think the United Nations was very concerned about the overall safety, and there were conventions and general guidelines drawn up for the same. And the major concern was that space militarization could lead to the monopolization of this territory, that's space, right? So, don't you think when we are aiming for this expansion, it could also again lead to a kind of monopolization of space? What do you guys think about that?
And of course, there is a saying, Viram Bhogya Vasundhara. The uh, the strong will the strong will enjoy the resources that the land gives. And for this, Manish rightly pointed out that we need to come up with these kind of conventions that are heavily enforced and which cannot be changed with the impact of these three to four strong nations. One of them is the state of India, which cannot be influenced by these three, four states. And we make sure that the riches are actually divided equitably based upon the current economic development of the states and the population that these states enjoy. And uh, I guess these kind of strictly enforceable laws and rules are really necessary because, I mean, we know the monopolistic nature of humans. They'll try to accumulate the resources for themselves. Yeah, you rightly pointed out, Rose. Kudos to you for that.
Yeah, I think I'd like to add one point. So, while there are some frameworks, there are some treaties, like as I said, 1970s time, one outer space treaty was signed, and now it's been signed by more than 100 countries. But now it's a time to strengthen such treaties and put some framework in place. Like if tomorrow, like some out of this space exploration, how these minerals or anything which is going to be shared among different nations. So that kind of framework need to be derived, and I think it has to be looked at holistically. And it's not like, okay, the country who is taking initiative is only going to claim that all the resources. So yeah, that's definitely bring to another. This is very, very important aspect and need to be dealt with.
Like Manish, you just talked about the outer space treaty. I think it somewhat talks about space colonization, although it is more comprehensively talking about space militarization. But then the problem with that specific treaty is that the terms it uses in context of space militarization, like militarization or WMDs, which is weapons of mass destruction, these are not very comprehensive definitions of the same. You know so, like, such loopholes already exist in such treaties, and rightly said that such treaties need to be more inclusive as well as more comprehensive for them to work, because such loopholes can be very readily exploited, right?
Yeah, and I actually do believe that when we have reached at the stage where we are not only doing space exploration but space invasion, then at that time it should not the territory that we claim should not be a territory of any particular state. It should be, let's say, the territory of UN, because this would, make sure that these international bodies are made strong and uh, it could also solve a lot of problems on earth because now we see the irrelevance of UN in the wars that's going on in the world. Ukraine Russia is going on for so many years. Israel Gaza is going on. Israel Lebanon is going on. There's a civil war in Syria. I mean, you actually see the irrelevance of these international bodies when you start counting the instability in the whole of earth. So I guess this could both make them strong financially as well as militarily, so that they can create a stable environment on earth as well and make sure that uh, all of the riches are again divided equitably to the whole of nation, the whole of world. Sorry, yeah, Rose.
Right. But then there's this concern that I have that I don't know how relevant this concern may be, but then like right now, if I'm not wrong, right, this is the knowledge that I have as of now. If I'm wrong, you're free to correct me. I think the ost, the outer space treaty itself, permits like the peaceful exploration and deployment of military personnel in space or celestial bodies only for peaceful and non-aggressive purposes. So if it's for peaceful or quote unquote non-aggressive purposes, people or nations will be allowed to deploy military personnel in space or on like different celestial bodies. So in case of conflict or some geopolitical issue becoming heated up, don't you think we will kind of indirectly be causing a space war?
Kind of true, because I mean, we recently saw that, talking of the human intellect to stay united, we recently saw that Russia withdrew from the International Space Station and they decided to make one of their own with the help of China, if I'm not wrong. So we can see these blocks being formed for claiming the resources of the universe. And yeah, I guess technically you're right. I mean, that could be another badge uh, on the chest of the human species, that we made sure that we spill over the Earth conflict into the universe.
I think if we are going to undertake any kind of activity in space, not just extraterrestrial expansion, whatever it is, space colonization, militarization, I think our major focus should be on bringing in comprehensive treaties or, you know, renewing existing treaties to make them more comprehensive so as to prevent an arms race before we even start with such ambitious activities.
Yeah, and we need to make sure that the four states, India, Russia, China, and US, don't actually have influence over those treaties, so that the wealth can be equally distributed and the treaties are not tilted for one side, just like the UN is tilted for the P5 members.
Right.
Yeah, so I think just started. It's just a beginning. I really, I mean, that was very interesting fact that Sandeep provided. We are, if we look at the entire span of this human life and then Earth lifespan, then we are merely talking about the seconds. It's just like AI, space technology is going to, I mean, space exploration or that extraterrestrial expansion is going to remain with us for quite long time. So, of course, there has to be a comprehensive, inclusive, and very well-defined framework for this space exploration, and that's a need of the hour.
But then, if we go back to the title of this debate, it's that extraterrestrial expansion is essential for the survival of human species. Like, the question I wanted to ask you guys is that how important do you think extraterrestrial expansion is only for the survival of human species? Like, if our cause is the survival of human species or the extension of survival of our species, how important do you think this expansion is?
Actually, people don't realize it, but if, like rightly pointed out by Sandeep, if we actually want to increase this 1 second or 25 minutes rather of the human existence on Earth, then we kind of need these extraterrestrial expansions because I mean any calamity could happen. In my life, in in my small life only, I have heard these quote unquote credible sources that a meteor is gonna strike Earth. I guess it was 2011 or 2012, where people were claiming that it's almost confirmed that the Earth's gonna end because some meteor or asteroid is coming our way to, destroy the whole of Earth. And small meteors do usually fall on the Earth's surface. So, to kind of avoid these issues, there is, of course, climate change, the ice age, and the hot ages cycle. I mean, if we actually want to avoid these issues, then a little bit of extraterrestrial expansion or colonization could always help because uh, I mean, it's just like the stocks. You have to diversify your stocks to make sure that, your whole wealth is not destroyed. So, if we kind of make sure that the human existence is not limited to just one planet or even one solar system, then I mean, we could continuously keep on increasing the chances of human survival. Yes.
Yeah, that does make a lot of sense. Like, if we are doing it solely for the purpose of extending the survival of human species, I think it's a wise choice not to put all our eggs in one basket. Like, that definitely makes a lot of. Any other thoughts, you guys?
So, yeah, I think Earth has already gone through maybe five, I guess, mass extinctions. So, like, majority of species got wiped out.
Lokesh,
So,
your
so
audio is not very stable.
okay, is it better now?
Yes. If you're speaking, you're inaudible.
Yeah. So in the meantime, yeah, to continue what I was saying, we do need to, kind of make sure that Rose rightly said, we do not put all our eggs in one basket, because again, it could lead to several issues. And uh, I just want to expand on this issue of global warming and climate change. I mean, we are almost seeing the effects of climate change in our day-to-day lives, and it has not only impacted the global occurrence and the global weather and the whole of cycles, but it has also resulted in several natural disasters. Uh, you know, uh, the occurrence of earthquakes have increased by many folds. We are seeing several issues going on in the world, and natural disasters going on in the world day after day. So, yeah, I guess uh, it's almost high time now that we think of extraterrestrial colonization to make sure that some of us do survive uh, this evil chain of climate change. Yeah, Lokesh.
Lokesh, available right now?
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, so I was saying the Earth has already undergone multiple extinctions, um, so which are clearly not under the control of the species that existed at the time. And if we manage to even control those like extinction events, so we'll end up overpopulating, right? So in that case, it is, I think the only solution is become planetary species. So yeah, that's what I want to convey. Yeah.
Thank you, Lokesh.
I mean, if we are talking on hypothesis and uh, we are talking with respect to the survival of the human species, then what about the age-old debate of what if there are aliens? I mean, a con view could be that maybe there are aliens in our neighboring planets, and this extraterrestrial colonization could actually lead to the demise of the human species. What if we anger the more technologically advanced overlords? That could actually, uh, that could lead to the demise of the whole of humanity.
That's a very interesting concern. Like, of course, like people have always kind of anticipated the existence of aliens. Not that we've confirmed anything, scientifically speaking, but yeah, a valid concern. Like, definitely got my thinking hats on now.
I think there can be two scenarios. Either they are very well advanced. Um, so in that case, I don't think they will find us interesting. It's like we talking to squirrels, right? The other case, we might be more evolved than the aliens. I think in that case, we might try to exploit. So as long as we don't uh, piss off the more advanced ones, I think we are we'll be in the good state.
It could be either of the cases, right? But then giving the first scenario the benefit of the doubt, yeah, definitely we would not want to piss them off. I think if such a case is to happen and our expansion is perceived as invasion from that side, I guess we've done what we never intended to do.
Rightly so. And I mean, if they are not as well equipped with the ideas of science, then I mean, what's the issue? Again, on the second note, would that count as an exploitation of human rights? because technically they are not humans. But yeah, I mean, I could easily see why if they are well equipped and even if we try to send an exploration mission, then I can see how that can be treated as an aggressive invasion into their territories.
Right. And like the scenario that you talked about, Prince, like, yeah, that's technically not the violation of human rights. Maybe we'll just have to come up with a term called alien abuse, I guess. I mean, what else are you gonna call it if they're just not as evolved, or what if they just turn out to be more like animals than evolved beings like human beings, you know?
I'll just say aliens' lives matter.
Yeah, please do not abuse aliens, I guess. No, please do not if you find them. Not, I guess. Definitely don't.
Yeah, so I guess to conclude, it is a double-edged sword. I mean, it seems like it's necessary for human survival, but if things fall on the con side, then if things go south, then it can go south really bad.
Definitely, I think it's just like wandering off into the unknown, hoping for the best. Because I think that's really, I think that's the most you can do. That's, yeah. What else can you do? You can just hope for the best, right? Because that's a very untapped territory. Um, are we all on the same page that it is essential for us to undertake extraterrestrial expansion?
Yeah, totally. What do you think, Lokesh?
Yeah, I think that's next stage, I believe. Uh, because we have to get technologically so advanced that we can like reverse these extinction events somehow, right? Or find other planets to occupy. But eventually, there is going to be some form of extinction event that's gonna come, right?
Yeah.
So a simple example is like a COVID, right? So somehow we managed to escape that, right? Because of the advancement. But imagine some kind of super virus or something that we cannot find a cure and it's going to eventually kill us all. So that's also possible.
Yeah, right. I like with the current conditions that we see, I don't think it is possible to prevent extinction. I think we could delay it, definitely.
Yeah, or escape it.
Yeah, whichever one's more convenient given the technological conditions.
I agree with the delaying part because whoever is born will die, courtesy Gita. So I guess the human species is born, so it will face its demise. I guess you can just increase the time frame.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me again, space travel it will be a very huge part of our lives the moment we manage to create or find life on another celestial body, right? But then space travel has its own hazards, right? Because humans won't necessarily withstand the conditions that come along with space travel. unless we have the technology to prevent that.
Yeah, space. I mean, deep space travel is still very dangerous because again, we have not yet reached that level. I mean, just going to the space is comparatively safer because it's just 100 kilometer above the Earth's surface. It's just a
Yeah,
hypothetical line.
right. And if such things were to be possible, the question of cosmic radiance, I think, is a very relevant one. I think we have a lot of things to address on such topics, right? It's like really interesting, but then there is so much uncertainty involved that you cannot really say that things will go this way or that way or somewhere in between, right? It's just something, a topic on which we can't anticipate much.
Right. It's just he said, they said type thing.
Exactly. We'll just find out when we find out. Until that, it's all just guesswork. I guess we're all on the same page, and I think we have pretty much wrapped it up. So, if anybody has any concluding statements, now's the time.
I'll just say aliens' lives matter. ALM.
Great. No alien abuse, please. If they happen to be less evolved than us, that's gonna be the statement from me. What about you guys, Atharva and Lokesh?
Yeah, if they are cute, I won't abuse.
Wow, okay. What if they aren't?
I think I just don't
You
admire
just,
them, leave them alone.
yeah. Okay. Atharva, what do you say?
Yeah, I mean, the debate was really good actually. The motives, like, because we human beings are capable enough to explore space, so it is a need. But I think some point the debate lacked on practicality, like how will it be possible exactly to do? Like even if we build such a system, who will be going and uh, who will be given preference?
Mm,
And then the post um, post stage as well, like the monopolistic competition. But it is actually necessary, I feel, to have competition in place that gives rise to innovation. Yeah,
yeah,
but I think
rightly
just
said.
from the standpoint, yeah.
Right. Thank you so much, Atharva. Thank you guys for being here. Great session it was. See you next time. Bye bye.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.